This story may be too intense for some viewers. On the night of February 23rd, 1992, dispatcher Marilyn Jameson was on duty at the York County Sheriff's Department in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Her shift had been uneventful until around 7 p.m. when a frightened young woman with a child rushed into the station.
Ma'am, you've got to help us.
She said, I don't know what to do. My husband is trying to kill me.
What's your name? My name is Angela Poole. My husband has been following... Where do you... That's your mom. Lieutenant!
She was in the process of getting a divorce, and he had chased her into the sheriff's office.
Broken into my house before.
Her husband was behind her, and he was watching her. And he looked very calm. He didn't look upset at all, but she was nervous and shaking. I knew she was telling me the truth.
He won't leave us alone. Where do you live? I live out near Catawba. My name is Angela Poole.
I think you recognize the name.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that you do because I've had trouble with him before.
You'll get a chance to say your part.
An officer spoke briefly with Angela's estranged husband.
We didn't have anything that covered just simple harassment that we could lock him up for if they didn't commit any other violation of the law, such as trespassing or assault or anything. If they just followed someone, they could do it all they wanted.
I did get the officer to escort her home and go in and check out her house and make sure she was all right. But I did know that if I ever heard that address again, that this lady would need help.
When we continue.
You talk to 1,000 people a week, but then you get that one.
The next evening, Angela returned home from work with her 2 children from previous relationships, 4-year-old Daniel Michael and 7-year-old Christina.
When we got home, my mama told us to go play.
Y'all take those jackets off and put them in your room?
Yes, ma'am.
Or did these groceries put away?
We went into my room, and Mama went down to her room, and then that's when it started.
Just come to talk and see you and the family.
You know you're not supposed to be here.
I know. I don't want to cause any problems.
What are y'all doing?
I'm calling a colorful bird.
Oh, that looks good. Here, let me fix that for you. Sometimes it's hard to stay in the lines.
I just want a little more time
Same
to
with your
talk.
tracks?
10 minutes.
There, that looks better, okay?
She took and turned the book around, and it said call 911.
For us to talk about.
Angela, why are you being like this?
I'm not trying to be anyway. I just...
Sheriff's office. And hello. Can I help you?
There was a child on the phone, and I couldn't make out what she was saying. I asked the 911 operator, where is the call coming from?
Okay, we gotta get officer to 1210.
Once we heard that location, it put up red flags. That little girl and her mother's in trouble. And I'd given her my word that I would get somebody there as quickly as possible.
Lieutenant Willis Gregory was 12 miles away when he was dispatched to the scene.
Domestic abuse calls are probably the most dangerous calls that we go on because we're going into a situation that we never know what's going to happen.
Can I speak to your mommy? Let me speak to your mommy. Can your mommy come?
I said I hang up.
No, don't hang up.
Don't try to keep on the phone.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Uh-huh.
Who's speaking?
Angela Poole.
Angela, what's going on?
Somebody's going to get killed.
This is the sheriff's office. Angela.
Uh-huh.
What's going on? This is the sheriff's office. Tell me what's going on.
Well, her husband will leave, but
Tell me, what's happening?
so
This is the... You can't talk?
Yep.
Is he there?
Uh-huh.
Is he humming you?
No, he's on the other phone.
Is he listening?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. Does he have a gun?
I hope not.
Okay, well, I got an officer on the way.
I thought maybe him knowing that we got officers on the way, maybe this would deter him from harming her or the other children.
Dispatcher Danny Reynolds had also been on duty the night before.
And I seen her actually talk with her, and knowing she was crying out for help that night made it even harder. It was almost like I really knew her.
Has he been drinking, Angela? No. He's not letting her talk.
She couldn't make a full sentence. So I started asking her things, like she could give me a yes or no answer.
He's got you locked in the house? Yeah. Is he gonna let us in? Huh? Okay, they're fighting. Huh? What's she saying? Quit. Okay, what's he doing?
He's standing here in front of me.
Has he hit you?
No.
He has not?
No.
He didn't assault you yet. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you till the officer gets there. Hello? Hello? Angela? Okay, I just got disconnected.
I wasn't about to give up. I called 911 back. I said, I need the number back to the domestic I had. It's a bad domestic.
Hello? Angela? Don't hang up.
I didn't.
Can you hang the phone up? Okay, just don't hang the phone up. I gotta talk to you and make sure. Where is he now? Angela? Where is he now?
838, disregard 824. It's getting pretty bad out there. The child's screaming.
At the time that I heard all the screaming, it was coming from the child and Angela. I didn't know who was being hurt. I felt like I wanted to come through the phone line real bad.
840-1076, 1076 in progress.
You talk to 1,000 people a week, but then you get that one. It was nothing on the phone but screaming for at least 30 or 60 seconds.
Hello? Hello? Okay, what did he do to her?
He took a knife and took a knife and beat her with this. It's bad.
Okay, what's he beat her with?
A knife. 840, he does have a knife and he's using it.
Okay, where did he cut her at? Get an ambulance.
I don't know. He's bleeding all over.
Okay, tell me where your daddy's at.
I don't know. He's left.
Did he leave?
He left. The subject left the scene. I'm speaking with a small child. The mother, she cannot touch the phone.
Stay on the phone with me. Where's your... Please listen to me. What's your name?
Christina.
Christina, where's your mommy at in the house?
I just kept asking her small questions just to keep her calm enough to lead me through it.
Can you take the phone to her?
No.
Okay.
She's crying.
We got an ambulance coming, okay?
Okay.
Are you hurt?
No, I got blood on me.
Huh?
I got blood on my foot.
You've got blood on your foot.
I'm a shot from home.
Okay, but you're okay, right?
Right, me and my brother.
You and your brother's there. Okay.
She didn't calm down all the way, but she calmed down enough for me to get the information that I needed. It amazed me to know how helpful she was.
Okay. Can you go in there and check and see if she's breathing?
Okay.
Come right back to the phone.
Oh, Marilyn, this is horrible. My mom told me that she loved me and that she was gonna die. I said, Mama, you're not gonna die.
She's still awake, right?
She's still awake.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Okay, you're doing a great job.
Okay.
You're getting your mommy help. You're doing real good.
I didn't know Angela's status. I didn't want her moved or anything. So the only thing I could think of to tell her was to go get a wet washcloth and apply it to her mama's head to keep her calm. I didn't tell the little girl, but deep down I felt that by the time we got there, she would be dead.
It took 16 minutes for Lieutenant Gregory and another officer to reach Angela's house.
We didn't know for sure at that point whether the husband had left the scene. I had Deputy Lily go to the right to clear that end of the residence, and I went to the left. As I entered the bedroom and saw her, the only thing that went through my mind was, oh my God. I could see 20 or 30 stab and cut wounds just from where I was, and all I could see was part of her left side. I've never seen anything so bad in my life.
Kansas, don't try to talk anymore, honey.
You got help on the way.
The sheer brutality of the attack was just unbelievable.
Bert, get the kids out. All right.
I've got a 6-year-old daughter and a 5-month-old son. And no child should have to face anything like that.
Within 30 minutes of the attack, a Piedmont Medical Center EMS unit arrived, led by paramedic David Gregory.
We couldn't find really a place where there wasn't blood coming from.
Stay with us, Angela.
She was bleeding so bad that we used every bandage that we had on the truck. The only thing I could think of was the electrodes to check the heart rate. So I used those because they're self-adhesive and they stick. Okay, let's get her on the back wall. And it was hard to believe this patient, if she did survive, will ever return to normal.
25-year-old Angela was transported by Med Center air helicopter to Carolinas Medical Center, where a trauma team was waiting for her, including Dr. Robert Monson.
She had a stab wound to her spleen, a stab wound through her diaphragm, an injury to her kidney, injury to her colon, injury to her liver.
We're going to do a quick lap on her and try to get all the bleeding control, so let's go.
We estimated that she had lost about 50% of her blood volume.
With the support of her parents and brother, Angela spent 3 weeks recovering in the hospital. She underwent surgery and extensive therapy to regain full use of her hands.
When he started stabbing me, I just kept pulling my hands tight and my arms tight together to keep the knife out of my heart. And I'd pray. And I didn't ask God for strength for me. I asked God to let me live to raise my kids. I mean, I'm all they got.
If my mom wasn't around, I miss how she took care of me and stuff that she did for me. I don't know what I'll do without her.
If it wouldn't have been for the little girl helping me and guiding me, I don't know what would have happened. She saved her mama's life that night.
After I come home from the hospital, I bought her a gold bracelet, and on the front of it had Christina, and on the back of it had Hero, 2/24/92.
He's gonna do a long shot.
Angela's then husband was subsequently convicted of assault and battery with intent to kill and sentenced to 15 years in prison.
That very year, mostly because of this incident, South Carolina has enacted what is called a stalking law. If it had been in effect at the time this happened, it may not have happened because he may have already been jailed for repeatedly following her around.
Hi, my name is Angela Jackson. Used to be Angela Poole, and I made it. I got divorced and almost didn't make it, but I'm here. I've talked to church groups, I've talked to young girls, to college students, and let them know, give them danger signs, to give them patterns. And when he abuses, then you hear, I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
Don't keep it to yourself. Let somebody know. There's organizations, there's social workers, there's victim advocates programs in every sheriff's office that will assist you.
To all the people that saved my life, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I got another chance. And my reason could have been just my simple prayer. Let me live to raise my kids.
She was like an inch away from being paralyzed, a half inch away from her heart. Angela has an angel watching over her. She does. Might be Christina.